Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. I salute Bhagavat Pada Shankaracharya, who is the repository of all the Shrutis, the Smritis and the Puranas, who is compassionate and is the benefactor of the world. We are on the verse 48. Atmabodha, self-realization or self-knowledge. The tangible universe is verily Atman. Nothing whatsoever exists that is other than Atman. As pots and jars are verily clay and cannot be anything but clay, so to the enlightened, all that is perceived is the self, is the Atman. So there are two words here. Like in the previous verses we had seen, ikshati, sarvam ikshati. The Sanskrit is Atma eva idam jagat sarvam. Atmano anyat na vidyate. It's a very beautiful way of putting it. Nido yad vad ghatadini swatmanam sarvam ikshati. Ikshati, to see. Ikshati, to see. What does he see? Now to see means, as we've discussed it, the Vedanta philosophy is called darshana, and so are all other philosophy. They are not called philosophy. Philosophy is translated in simple language is love of wisdom. Sophia, that was the goddess of wisdom. Philosophy, love of wisdom. But here it's not love of wisdom. What wisdom? What are you going to do? Because wisdom, ordinary wisdom, is useless in this world of business and cunning and corruption, all these things. You're wise, you might be homeless here. Or you might somehow get by. People will come to you, but it won't give you money. Ordinary wisdom. Or you might become a kind of a well-known sage, but the idea in Indian philosophy, it's called Indian darshana. Bharatiya darshana, to see. So it gives one an opportunity to clear one's vision and see. So darshan is to see. Now darshan has become an English word. So much for English. So sarvam ikshati, sees everything. What is to see? What is the darshan? What is it? To realize. So it is put in a poetic language that Vedanta realization or Nyaya realization, Nyaya philosophy, realization. You've got, if you follow this, you will get this kind of realization. So darshan is realization, and it is, that's why the word ikshate is, it's to see clearly. What does that person see? The tangible universe is verily the Atman. Now this has become a huge issue amongst non-Vedantis. What do you mean We see this world as the world. How can this be the Atman? Yes. What is all this? Is this the Atman? That means one thing. We are not seeing. See? We are not realizing. Or we are not experiencing this. Are they telling lies? Or is Shankara telling lies? The tangible universe is verily the Atman. Atma eva idam jagat sarvam. What? It completely contradicts your sensory perception. And that which has been experienced by, is being experienced by millions and billions and everybody. It's not, where is this Atman? And yet there have been some people who saw this as the Atman. They're saying, what's the difference between them and us? So they had the divine eye opened. So we spoke about the divine eye. And they saw it. It wasn't a sensory perception. So is this possible? Yes. For instance, which I've alluded to often, Swamiji used to read such Vedantic books insisted by Sri Ramakrishna, and he had to read it. He used to militate against it. What is this? So he's saying, you read it from me. It was Ashtavakra Samhita or Ashtavakra Gita. And one time Swamiji was so everything is the pot, and like he said, the pot and jars, etc., Brahman, what is this? So the rishis must have been. He uses some word which was not appropriate for those great souled ones. Saying, listen, you may not agree with them, but don't call them that, whatever. Okay. Then Swamiji walked out of Sri Ramakrishna's room and he's sitting down with Hazra. Hazra was, as they say, good for nothing. But he was there to enliven the play of Sri Ramakrishna. And Hazra, he was they say, there's always a need for you can say, trickster. Otherwise, the play will not become enlivened. A trickster, a jester, some like Jatila Kutila. They will come and disturb the play. Radha and Krishna want to meet, but Jatila and Kutila are coming and creating all the trouble. So and Swamiji, he was a great friend. And so he goes and then he says, what can be more clear? This pot is God and this is God. And they are both laughing. Sri Ramakrishna comes out of his room. So what are you laughing? And he touches Swamiji. And he says, with my own eyes, with my eyes open, I see that everything is Brahman. He keeps quiet. He experiences not only the pot, but the temple, the skies, the earth, the trees and everything as Brahman. Saying for 3 days he was in that state. He returned home also in that state. And he's sitting down to eat and he's putting the morsel in his mouth, but it feels like as if he's feeding something else. And saying there was a kind of a numbness in his extremities. Sometimes he's eating something, he's eating and he's lying down. Again, after a while, he's getting up and like somebody else is eating or whatever. He's walking on the streets of Calcutta. That was near Hedua. That's a very famous locality there in Calcutta. And he sees that a carriage rushing down the street is all same consciousness as he is. And he doesn't want to move out of the way. Everything is consciousness. So for 3 continuous days he was in that state. Then his mind came slightly down. Then he saw the world like a dream, dreamlike. He goes to that, there's a place called Hedua Tala. That's a pond, Hedua pond. Now, of course, I say it's become a swimming pool. And he goes and tries to bump his head in the iron railings to see whether they are real or not. And then after that, his mind came down and he sees this world. Then he says, after that, I could no longer say that the words in the scripture, the words of the rishis are all wrong. Now, what happened actually? Sri Ramakrishna touched him. And you see Sri Ramakrishna, we say, oh, Swami Vivekananda had the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi in Kashipur, he got a knowledge of Brahman. This is a knowledge of Brahman. I don't know how we get some things mixed up. There are some who kind of say, this is the knowledge of Brahman. He saw everything as Brahman. He saw the tangible universe is verily the Atman. Atman is Brahman. He had a knowledge there. Sri Ramakrishna is touch. Now, if Sri Ramakrishna doesn't touch us, we'll get it. So that's a hope. You go and sit down there in front. Please touch me. Please touch me. How does he touch you? Oh, he is looking at you. You know how? Like Swamiji wrote it. Vikshane moha jai. When you see, when Sri Ramakrishna sees you, your delusion goes away. And this is the same word, ikshate. Vikshane moha jai. Sri Ramakrishna look at you and your delusion. So, we have this strange idea, another strange idea that our mind is now enmeshed in this brain and the body, and that's all. But we also now know that there is something called a subconscious mind. How is it? Oh, he's taking some medicines for anti-trauma, anti-anxiety, anti-depression, anti-psychotic. So where does that thing come? Oh no, it is something that happened in the past. They're taking pills here. So we know now there's something called another part of the mind, memory, which affects this. And that's all. And we are dealing with that. The mind has many, many, many levels. Oh my God. Even here, the ordinary mind has this conscious layer. Below that is something called the pre-conscious, then the conditioned conscious, and then the subconscious, then the unconscious. So many. This itself is it's a huge. So the mind has got many, 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 many layers, many levels, and Sri Ramakrishna's touch would raise. It is figuratively spoken of as he used to raise the Kundalini by just merely looking at them. Looking at people. That's why Swamiji wrote. There was one disciple meditating and Sri Ramakrishna looked at him and then saying something, I felt something creeping up from my chest and rushing up to it. And I felt a fit of weeping, and then I went into. So Sri Ramakrishna used to look, vikshane, to see, and then he used to also touch and put people into that. So figuratively spoken of the awakening the Kundalini or the Shat Chakra Bhedana, the piercing of the 6 chakras. So at the highest, the sublime level of the mind, you can see this, the tangible universe is verily Atman. So at the higher level of the mind means, sublime level, the higher level of consciousness. That's what I want to say. So your mind is at different layers of consciousness. The highest layer, the tangible universe is verily Atman. Nothing whatsoever exists that is other than Atman. Everything? Yeah, Swamiji said everything, he saw everything as the Atman, Brahman, the Saguna Brahman. So what about chairs and tables and me, you, all that thing disappears. You see this one. How does it appear? Well, as Sri Ramakrishna to bring it, saying like, if you go to a place where everything is made of wax, there's one substance made into various forms. Or you will see everything as one form, one substance, everything is. You'll see everybody as light. But that also is it. Yeah. When Sri Ramakrishna and his nephew Hriday were walking in the Panchavati, they were returning from that pine grove to then suddenly he looks, his body is made of light. And then he sees his uncle, that is Sri Ramakrishna, his body also made of light. Say, uncle, we are not ordinary. I'm the same like you. And so let us go and let us liberate people. And he's making such a big noise, and Sri Ramakrishna touches him, and he becomes dull again, and he starts weeping. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? He felt himself. Just a touch. That was all. He felt himself as his old self. But he had that knowledge that he saw everything as light. His body. So what happened to all the heart and the liver and the skin and bones and all? What are you talking about? This has got hold on us so powerfully. That's because of the screen of Maya. Okay. So that's why, as pots and jars are verily clay and cannot be anything but clay. So all your liver and your heart and this and kidneys, all that one substance. Amazing. But it takes divine grace for you to arrive at this. So to the enlightened, all that is perceived is the self, the Atman. So there's a difference here. So it's like the enlightened and the not enlightened. Enlightened is the person sees. So to the enlightened. So there are 2 states of the mind. The unenlightened state, when we see this world through the senses, and the enlightened state when one sees. So if you know, let us be democratic about it. We have democracy. We believe in democracy. Everything. All right. The majority of the people see this world real. So according to democracy, this world real. But unfortunately, in philosophy, that thing does not work. So your democracy will stay there in society. So has this been for thousands and thousands and thousands of years has been over and over and over that authenticated by a series of people, great sages. But what's the difference between them and us? Yeah. Somewhere deep down, that seed is with us also. Somewhere in the deep down, when you think of your own life and you think, oh my God, how it has vanished, how it appears just like a dream. All what I had done and said and this and that, like a dream like. Life appears very strange. The solid looking nature, there are so many factors, we don't know what's happening, where, what. We are living in a strange land, among strange people. So this, Swami Vivekananda says, this standing between knowledge and ignorance, this mystic twilight, where it ends, no one knows. We are walking in the midst of a haze, half awake, half sleeping. This is what. The moment you're slightly getting detached, you will get this idea. Suppose you want, you have some desire, that desire that ties you, makes this world real. Slowly and slowly, God alone is real. So, sometime back, I get a lot of emails and questions. And so they're saying, well, I don't like to have the Maya explained as a divine mother, Kali. Why? Because Maya is Shakti and it's unreal. So Kali also is unreal. So everything he's used illusion. So everything is illusion. The Kali is also illusion. Maya also is illusion. Then I said, then your question also is illusion and my answer also is illusion. It doesn't matter. There's no need for philosophy. So I said, the difficulty with all of us in trying to understand Indian philosophy, Indian darshana is, from outside, they see the outside world and then they study it, whatever, and they read a little here, there, and they want to have an explanation of this external world. This world is Maya. And then slowly, if they are persistent enough, they will from outside, they will come inside. But Vedanta starts from the inside out. So you have to be Vedantins, you better start here. Don't ask, what is this world outside? What is this here? Start asking this. That's why all these sages and all these. Find the ask. He doesn't say, do the stars exist? Do the galaxies exist? They say, do you exist? Find out who you are. They say there. In heaven, how many levels are there? How many types? We are not bothered about that. That is meant for the children in mythology. That's not your business. Now I want to go to the here. You start asking here. So when you start asking here, then you might as well agree that there is something which is you exist. There's no doubt about it. Now find it out. And as you keep on diving deeper, trying to find out, you will find the various layers or levels of consciousness. That same question which you asked here is not a question you asked here. Or maybe it might. There's a incident it was Einstein, he was asked by another professor, a professor or a student, saying, the question you gave last year is what you have repeated this year. So people, it implies you can just copy that. Same question which you asked last year. So he said, oh yes, okay. No, all right. Let that question be. Because the answer has changed from last year. There's something new discovered. So this question, who am I, what am I, ask. And at every level, the answer will change. So the same question, you'll find different answers. That way Einstein was right. I mean, in that particular, the answers have changed. So your answer, what is this, what is this, what is this, will change. And as you go, Sri Ramakrishna says, so when your consciousness appears here, then you say, what is this, what is this? That same question is there, but then and what that person sees, he sees light all over the place. Inside, okay, not. Or you put those lights on, I can see the light. So as light of consciousness comes here, I think, what? So the questions are there, what? Who am I, what am I? But it has changed. So this is the reason why it's not dismissed. Vedanta says, okay, this is what it is. At the very crest, you will get this. To the enlightenment, all that is perceived is the self. So each one of us is on a journey. So what is the journey? Eat, drink, and be merry. Everybody says. That has been preached forcefully. Materialism has been forced. They push down your throat. Push down your throat, push down your nose, your ears, and everywhere. Forced to take. That you are a material being. You start the journey by thinking first, you are a spiritual being. So this is the initial correction one has to do within one's own understanding of oneself. How do you know you're a spiritual being? Because these guys have already told them. And those few, but they have said that this is what. So you start, I'm a spiritual being. And now you start your journey. I'm a material being, and then I will attend to you might attend to higher levels of materialism. And that's why you want to go to heaven. Heaven what? I will drink nectar. I will see all these gods, Indra and all seated down, and all these divine musicians and these divine dancers. There you'll find the best dancers. Ramba, Tilottama, Urvashi and all these. Great. They will keep you enthralled, and when they dance, 1,000,000 years will go off. You don't even know. Oh my God. Yeah. This world of Maya is like this. You see Urvashi dancing, and a few million years have passed. So in that you'll go to heaven, in this you're material? No. So if you start with the idea, I am a spiritual being, and then you'll end up here. All this is verily Brahman. The tangible universe is verily Atman. Nothing whatsoever exists that is other than the Atman. As pots and jars. This is the very common illustration used in Vedanta. These old Vedantins, these rishis, they had nothing more they had pots and they had jars and pans. Yeah, actually, they're very poor. They're very wise. Like I said, they're very poor. Because or they use also gold also. They'll get like gold also, they say. Gold is one lump of gold is made into bracelets and necklaces and amulets, etc. It's just gold. So this one substance, either take the clay or take the gold. So this one substance has become everything. Now remove the word clay, or remove the word gold, and put consciousness. So this one consciousness has become all these things. How consciousness? Yeah, consciousness. Why? You think consciousness should not take form. Oh, who said? You don't know, even know. You're only reading too much of neurology to know, oh, consciousness is there. Nobody has seen consciousness. They're seeing, they're going to see consciousness. What is that? What they are seeing? They are seeing, now they can photograph neurons. They don't make noise, silent. But in the animation, we show noise. One neuron firing. The axon is kind of absorbing this neurotransmitter. Hey, we've seen the consciousness. You're seeing a neuron. You're not seeing consciousness. You're seeing those neurotransmitters. You're not seeing consciousness. You're seeing the brain. You're not seeing consciousness. So this brain here, we light it up in animations because we have to see. Actually, it's all dark inside. Fully dark. It's silent. What goes on inside, we do not know. Something is happening. That is creating half the world that you perceive. So it is actively filling in the blanks, actively creating your reality. So we don't have to be so great and proud about we are materialist. This is solid matter. So the notes say the tangible universe. This is because Atman is the cause and the universe the effect. Cause and effect. Atman, clay, is the cause, and the universe, like a pot or a jar, is the effect. The illusion of the universe is seen in Atman as a mirage is seen in the desert. So even this pot and this jar which you see is like a mirage. Nothing there's, but it has taken the form. Yeah, taken the form, but it's not there. So that there was another person who had written, so everything is an illusion. And so Vedanta says everything is illusion. So I said, no, you're giving only half what Vedanta says. So Vedanta says, yes, it's illusory, but it emphasizes another side. What you are seeing is Brahman, not illusion. You cannot see the Brahman because of, take it off. What you see is the universe is an illusion. No. The universe is Brahman. This is what? The tangible universe is verily Atman. It is not an illusion. People who study a little Vedanta will say, oh, everything is an illusion. No, everything is Brahman. So the Vedantins are called Brahmavadins, one who insist on Brahman. We are not Mayavadins. Those dualists and all these, they have labeled us as Mayavadins. Oh, I remember one time I was arguing with another hardcore dualist. We are going to Jagannath Puri, and he is a monk, and I'm a monk. He is a half monk type. Well, because I saw that he was there and he had a kid with him, and then we're talking, and then he liked me, and then he says, his wife also, then she liked and she was talking to me. Then suddenly he says, don't talk to him. Don't talk to him. He's a Mayavadin. Oh, it's a Mayavadin. Get. So I said, no, I'm not a Mayavadin. No, you are a Mayavadin. You're a Mayavadin. And shouting. And the other passengers, they are saying, oh, what is this? And they went and they changed their seats. They don't want to sit down with a Mayavadin. So I try to tell you, this is not a Mayavadin. I'm a Brahmavadin. You are Mayavadin. But it never dawned on him. So this is what it is. So we are Brahmavadin. One who emphasizes the primacy of reality called Brahman. We don't emphasize the illusoriness, this aspect. This is your problem. You take care of it. This is what we are seeing. If you want to see it, do this. So it depends. So then, according to Vedanta, a cause is in essence non-different from its effect. Yeah, clay. So when you see, Swami Vivekananda also gives the example of you see a clay mouse and a clay elephant. As elephant and a mouse, they are different. Oh, it's big. But as clay, they are one. So in essence, it is that one consciousness has become like this. In essence, non-different from its effect. Then he said, just as gold is non-different from gold ornaments or clay from articles made of clay. What differentiates cause from effect is just a name. Yes. Name, we have given this name. This world, this you, this me, this, that, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, all these things. This realization of the identity of the self, the Atman, with the universe. This is what. When you realize the Atman, you realize that it is one with the universe. It's not different. Enables the wise person, wise, not that wise person I had mentioned here. These are the real enlightened ones. To cultivate fearlessness and love for all. So the ordinary manifestation of that person who is illumined has love for all, fearless. Fearless? Why should you fear? Abhayam vai praptosi Janaka. You have attained to the state of fearlessness, O Janaka, says King Yajnavalkya. The state of. And Abhaya, Swamiji is saying, see, I have preached nothing but the Upanishads. What does the Upanishad say? Abhi, be fearless, be fearless. This is what the Upanishad, this is what Vedanta says. How do you know you are a Vedantin? You will stop fearing. Every form of fear will go. That is a Vedanta. If you still fear, you're on the path. Don't worry. Keep on. So what's a test? That person is illumined or no, whatever that person shows fearlessness. At the same time, love for all. So these are the two characters. People say, how do you check that person is illumined or no? Because of this. Shows. Okay. If there are any questions, okay, there's one question here. Swami, is the world and everything we see an emanation from Brahman? Yes, but the word emanation is not kind of correct. It's like the world appears in Brahman. Okay. The word emanation is used mainly, the mystical sects of Judaism. You have this whole world is an emanation of that spirit. Okay. So it is still popular. It is getting popular now. It was in the 10th, 11th centuries by Moses Maimonides. He was. So emanation, yeah, if you want, but the world appears in Brahman. But after you realize, he's saying, yes, it's not an emanation, it is that very thing. Brahman itself is that Brahman. There is no something coming out of it. It is that same Brahman. It's called a Saguna Brahman. At that level, like there's a tree, and from the tree has this paneling come out for those emanated. So, no, it's not something like that. That tree itself is this. Brahman itself is. So, that is just a minor technical glitch. So, but it is true that the world that you see is divine. And that is what Swami Vivekananda had emphasized over again. Vedanta preaches the divinity of the soul and the world. So, thank you very much. On Sunday, we have Swami Subodhananda's birthday. So, we are going to have a discussion on his life. It was a wonderful, sweet Swami, very childlike. We have Mother's Children 9:40. At 10 o'clock, of course, is the talk. And we have Ram Nam also, 7 p.m. in the evening. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.